Okay, so find a comfortable seat. You can sit on a prop if that helps you. You could just sit cross-legged if that's comfortable enough for you. Close your eyes and slow down the breath. What I'd like to invite thematically today into the class is really giving ourselves permission to not be perfect. Giving ourselves permission to really know that this is all new, right? This is all new. We didn't prepare for this. and allowing it, you know, I see the conversations happening a lot right now, the motivation to use this time to make big changes or do a lot of personal development. And when we ask too much of ourselves sometimes, it can be a lot. And so I invite you to let this practice be really playful today. Push yourself to that edge where it's maybe a little uncomfortable, a little unsteady, but give yourself permission to not be perfect, to not have to know how to react. Let's do some Nadi Shodhana. Take your peace fingers, you guys, to your third eye. Seal the right nostril off with your thumb. And take a slow inhale through your left nostril. Once you're full, hold the breath briefly. Unless you are pregnant, please don't hold your breath. And then seal the left nostril with the ring finger. Open the right side and exhale through the right. Hold the emptiness for a moment and then inhale through the right nostril. Hold it briefly as you alternate the fingers. When ready, exhale through your left nostril. And inhale through the left side after a brief hold. Take your time. Switch the fingers, open the right side, exhale. Hold the emptiness. Take a slow inhale. Hold the fullness, switch fingers. Take a full exhale. And let's do a couple more rounds on your own now. I won't guide you specifically. Take your own time. Maybe you can even go slower. Notice there's this part of the body with the breath. It's nervous system related. And it's this feeling you get when you feel like you suddenly need to take a deep breath. So we'll play with that today. How to keep the nervous system calm. You can literally take your body from fight or flight down to parasympathetic, chilled out nervous system just by gaining some access to the control that you have of your breath. Know that you're safe. And the more we play with that edge, the more you play with that edge where you're like, oh gosh, I'm uncomfortable. I feel like I need to just stop this breath work. And you kind of just stick with it a little longer and calm yourself down. Right? You can really make new gains with the ribs, with the lungs. Similar, and maybe if you were trying to increase your ability to hold your breath underwater, if that was a skill you were working on. It's very similar. It's keeping the calm energy, even as the nervous system does what it's meant to do, which is to keep you alive. Next time you exhale through the right nostril, please take the hand back down to the lap. Keep the eyes closed for a bit longer here. And again, invite an intention today of imperfection, of not having to know the answer, the solution. And then, hopefully within that, freedom, the chance to play. Draw your hands to your heart, please. We bow together in community. And on an inhale, stretch your arms up to the ceiling, reach super high. As you exhale, put your right hand to the earth and arc the left arm over to the right side. So good, and then inhale, come back up to the center. Both arms stretch up, exhale, other side. Tip the left arm, touch the earth lightly, and reach the right arm up and over to the side. Again, on your own, inhale, rise up, exhale, other side again. Take a few rounds at your own breath. I often teach that way in my Vinyasa classes, where I'll guide 1 or 2 rounds and then encourage you to explore at your own speed. Maybe it's a little faster, maybe it's a little slower. There's no right or wrong here. As long as there's attention to the breath and the body. You're doing it right. Next time we do the left side, that'll be your final one. Reach the arms up when ready, no rush. And exhale, put your hands on your knees and round your back like a cat pose, or like a cat pose. Then inhale, cow pose here. Draw the belly open, open up the skull all the way through the top. One more time, exhale, round your back, tuck, little curl, squeeze the belly in and up. Inhale, open belly. Let's make our way to all fours position. Glide the hands out in front of you. Place the fingers, place the palms. Adjust any props that you may have been using for your seat. And spread the body out long. Arms long, arms below shoulders rather, knees below hips. Cool, cat-cow again. Start to flow. Inhale, opening your tummy. Exhale, round your back. Inhale, opening the belly. Exhale, rounding your back. And let there be a spiral. So it's a widening of your elbows. So that elbow pointy parts, the ones we sometimes bump on things and it hurts, you're gonna spiral those out laterally. So your armpits actually gain more access to space. Yeah. And start to go a little sideways, you guys, a little freedom, a little play. I forgot to mention in the beginning, but please, I invite you guys, if you want to play your own music in the background, you're on mute. It's a good, if that inspires your vinyasa or whatever practice, please make your space something that you delight in being in. Downward facing dog, please curl your toes under, stretch the hips up, wide and back. Let's start with some movement. So pedal out the legs, go left foot and right foot. Just really simple. You may like to wag your tail. That would be moving the hips side to side. Drawing the right leg in the air, bend your right knee and open the pelvis. Do some circular motions with the right leg. Draw energy up from the hands into your armpits so it'll feel lighter in the wrists. It's like your hands are straws, drawing energy from the earth. Other leg, place the right foot down, hover left leg, engage the leg as you lift it, and then rotations for the hip joint. Reverse the direction of the circles. We'll start to step to the front of the mat. So just from that left foot comes down, take it a little more forward, and then the right leg will follow until you're in a forward fold. Wide legs, hold your elbows, dangle the skull, dangle the ribs, maybe even shake. Energetically shaking, wiggling can be such a good way to release. We'll stretch the hands, put the hands on the legs, stretch the spine forward, push the crown of your head away from your tailbone. So the half lift is a long space. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bend the knees a little, stand all the way up, sweep your arms all the way above your head. And just as we did on the ground, we'll take the right arm to the right leg, left arm arcs to the right side. Engage your belly. On the inhale, make your way back to the center, full breath in, exhale, arc to the other side. Now, as I love to do, I invite you to do a few more on your own, with your own breath. Allow it to be imperfect. And allow it to be exploratory. Every time, perhaps another little millimeter of space to go as you warm up. Engage your core. And keep a lift of the chin, a lift of the skull. So the yoga is a continual communication in the nervous system of inner strength, inner power. Next time you go to the left with your right arm, we'll call that the final one. And then inhale both arms up to the sky, a little cactus stretch. So bend the elbows. Don't do too much of a back bend yet, you guys. Just do some circles. You just take the arms forward, up, back, and down like that. You'll probably feel some clicks and pops. Pretty normal. Let me go the other way. Reverse the circles that you're making with your elbows. Standing tall, lifting the chin. So again, this communication of inner power getting stronger. Inhale, let's go arms up against the sky, and then we'll forward fold, hinging at the hips. You might bend the knees, so that'll help you get down there. Inhale, lift halfway, lengthen out the spine. Exhale, touch the ground. Let's go to plank pose. First one of the practice. Let's hold it for a few breaths. If you'd like to modify, don't be shy. You can always put your knees on the ground like so in your plank. Otherwise, here we go. Holding plank. Widen lengthen the space from the tailbone through your crown. So there's an ever elongation or spacing of the spine. Take 3 more breaths. You guys work the low belly. Work the strength, meet your edge a little bit. And the first one will go easy. So from here, put the knees down, bend the elbows, lower down to your tummy. Yeah, widen out the hands, wider than a yoga mat. Prop up onto the tips of your fingers, little baby cobra stretch. Push your toes back. On your exhale, journey down. Up and down a couple more times, lifting up through the skull. Exhale, simplify as you lower down, more softly. Make the goal about lowering, not a rushed goal. A couple more on your own. Ah, so good, you guys. And again, each time, maybe there's a little more lift, maybe a little, like another millimeter, just the tiniest addition of space. And let's get the hips warmed up. So bring the hands in to make a little pillow. Keep your skull facing down. Inhale, lift the right leg up. Keeping the leg straight. Exhale, place it back down. Other side, inhale, elevate the left. Exhale, lower down, and again, as I do, continue on your own, right and left with breath. Every time you lift, try to make the leg a little longer. Yeah. Giving space to the hip joint. And again, notice, the lift is easy to notice, the muscles squeeze, but notice the landing of the leg. And I'm going to invite you, because we are doing some inversions today, and I want it to be as safe as possible in your home. The landing is key. How we come back to the earth is indicative of our alignment, of our safety, of how well we're initially holding ourselves up even before we invert. Cool, let's place the hands, you guys. Push through curl the toes under. Plank pose, you can use your knees to modify, lifting back up, and we'll go to downward facing dog. Take 5 deep breaths. Opening the armpits so there's a width to the elbows, a width to the rib cage on all sides. Inhale, friends, lift your right leg up, straighten it up towards the sky. Exhale, knee to the right elbow. We gotta work our core. Tap, tap, tap. Inhale, right leg back up. And touch the left elbow. We'll do a little twisted crunch below. Stay with me, you can do it. Inhale, lift the right leg back up. And step all the way through for a high lunge, crescent. Place the foot all the way through, hands to sky. Hips stay low, ribs go high. Focus your drishti, so find something to gaze at in front of you. And then keeping the gaze on the horizon, really helpful nervous system work. So the opposite would maybe be to have your eyes really high in their sockets. That's like a nervous system. That would be a fight or flight. I'm nervous, my eyes are looking upward. So if you gaze at the horizon, you just let the eyes be soft. It's a whole new practice. Warrior 2, allow the left heel to slide in as the arms extend out to the left and to the right. Again, notice the drishti. Notice throughout the whole practice, and especially when we get to the heat in our core series and in the inversion series I have planned for today, notice the eyes. How do they respond? So indicative. Lift the right palm up, reverse your warrior. Your left hand can either slide down the left leg, or you might like to hook it behind the back, near that right hip. It may go. We'll take a few breaths here, sitting low and rising high. Notice the eyes, notice the gaze. And side angle pose, either elbow to leg, or if you have the mobility, touch the ground. A yoga block is helpful too, below the right hand. And we'll go full stretch, left arm overhead. Take a few breaths here. Chaturanga flow from here. So you just frame your front foot, slide the left heel up, step back. You could do one-legged flow if you like to add those. I'm going to do both legs on the ground to simplify. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Point the feet, broaden the ribs. Exhale, downward facing dog. Curl your toes, elevate your hips. Take one full breath. Go in through the nose and out through your mouth. Inhale, stretch your left leg up to the sky. Exhale, tap the left elbow, squeeze your core. Inhale, left leg up to the sky. And tap the right elbow, squeeze the core. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, knee to nose, and then step the foot through, crescent lunge pose. Notice the eyes. Soften the gaze, and then in addition to that, one more thing I'd love to share is as you're gazing at the horizon, notice where your chin is at. And create a place where it's almost like you could easily sip some water. That's an ideal space. That way the breath is easier, it flows through the lungs more easily versus having your chin tucked or too far back, overarching the neck. That nice place, and then your eyes, they'll be so soft, almost half closed. Warrior two, spin the back heel down and reach out. Find the breath. Reverse, flip your left palm up, stretch the arm up and back. Alternatively, the right hand can either be on the back leg or hook it behind your left hip. And extended side angle, either elbow to the left leg or go all the way to touch the ground, or a yoga block, right arm above head. Breathe. One more inhale. Then we flow, frame the hands, or hands frame the foot rather, step the left leg back. Feel free to add a one-legged chaturanga for more heat. Inhale, upward facing dog, point the feet. Exhale, downward facing dog, elevate your pelvis. Let's do 5 breaths here with always the option for child's pose as an alternative if you'd like a little more rest at the current moment. 4. Down dog, notice how the eyes can be soft and have a focal point or even be closed. 2. Last breath. On your inhale, please lift your heels high. Exhale, bend the knees, step or float to the front of your mat. Go wide feet, grab your big toes, peace fingers, grip them. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, bend your elbows wide as you forward fold. Allow the head and the rib cage to hang low. As the pelvic floor, I think your pelvic floor can inhale, right? Think that much space, widen your sitting bones, widen the pelvic floor, as if that could also breathe. Hands to the shins. Inhale, lift halfway. Stretch your spine out a whole bunch. Exhale, forward fold. We'll stand up together, raise the arms up, full stretch to the tip of the top. And as you exhale, bring your hands to the heart. Let's pause for a very brief moment here. Broadening the breath. You can go wider with your elbows. It's a nice way to encourage more breath. So instead of elbows so narrow on the sides, let them press out laterally a bit more in space. And imagine the whole body of the lungs is breathing. The whole circular space, the sides of the ribs and even into the back. And even think that downward breath. So we're going to do some pranayama during class today. And the breath going down distally towards the belly as is the way your diaphragm moves. And there's so much to be felt there. On your own next inhale, let's keep flowing, arms down and then high all the way above your head. You got a little back bend if that's safe for you. Exhale, forward fold, hinge at your hips. Inhale, lift halfway, stretch your spine up. Chaturanga flow. Feel free to step or hop back. I'm going to step today. And then take your vinyasa at your own pace. Inhaling to your upward facing dog. Exhaling to that downward facing dog. Okay, same as before, a little repetition. Lift your right leg up, inhale. Exhale, knee to elbow, right elbow. Inhale, right leg up high. And exhale to the left elbow. Inhale, right leg up high. Exhale for crescent, go slow. Try not to land heavy. Inhale, arms up high. Take a few breaths here again. Notice your eyes. Get a little deeper. Let's do this on this side. Put your hands on your hips. Just notice where they're at in space. And if they were a little crooked, work them a bit more square. Inhale, arms up to the sky. And warrior two, opening the hips, moving the back heel. Again, reverse warriors, get a little faster with our movement. Exhale to side angle pose, elbow to the leg or touch earth. Left hand above the ear. One more big breath. We'll take a flow, frame the front foot, step back, chaturanga dandasana at your pace. Alternatively, you can always skip these chaturangas. If the arms start to get a little overworked, you just push back, down dog. Inhale, guys, lift the left leg up high. Exhale, left elbow. Inhale, lift it up high. And right elbow. Inhale, leg high. And crescent lunge. Place the left foot in between your two hands and raise the arms. And again, we'll hold it for just a bit. Let's self-adjust our hips. Self-adjustment's the new thing. Work your hips square and then raise the arms back up and sit a little deeper than the first round. Find your edge and be the best observer of how you respond to that. It's not wrong for the eyes to go up. It's not wrong for our jaw to clench, right? It's normal. We know that's normal when we're challenged. We just pay attention and we breathe through it. Warrior two, spin the right heel down. And we empower ourselves to respond. Lift the left palm up, reverse warrior. We empower ourselves to respond just with more awareness, even if it's not perfect. Side angle, elbow to the leg or touch the ground, right arm by your ear. Let's stay here for a moment. And then we'll flow or feel free to just step back to your downward dog. And once we get to this down dog, we'll take a few breaths. Child's pose is your optional release if you'd like. Otherwise, find the breath again. Broaden the elbows. It's important in down dog to not get too collapsed in your ribs. So reduce as best as you can today, a pinching of the shoulder blades, right? A collapse of the heart. And I feel a full embodiment to the heart. We'll take a lot of the pressure out of the wrists, especially if you've ever had any wrist pain in these types of postures. On your inhale, let's lift the heels up high. Exhale, bend the knees deeply. Step or hop to the front of your space. Let's go feet wide again. Inhale, halfway lift. Stretch out your back. Exhale, slide your hands below your feet when you come back down, Padahastasana pose. If the toes can touch your wrist creases, that's great. If you don't quite have that range of motion, there's nothing wrong with you. Just don't go quite so deep. You can always add a little bend to your knees. Now again, think of the power in this fold as you're here for a few breaths. So instead of letting the legs, especially the back of your glutes and your hamstrings, instead of letting them just take a nap, try to engage them. Create a uniform tone, both in the quadriceps, back into the hamstrings, up into the glutes. That's the power to eventually invert with a lot of steadiness, a lot of a feeling of like I got myself, even when I'm upside down, and it's a little scary sometimes. Last breath here. And let's slowly undo that. Take the hands on the shins, stretch halfway up, inhale a bunch. Exhale, forward fold. We're going to keep the feet spaced apart for a chair pose. Bend the knees, raise the arms up. Now I want you to sweep your arms behind you. And as the arms go back, check in with your neck. Your neck might be tense. Inhale this time as the arms go back up. Don't let the neck do it. Let more deeper muscles in the ribs do it. A couple like that. Exhale, sit back. Work neck, not overdoing it. Arms up, inhale. 3 more. Exhale, sit deep, let the pelvic floor be wide. Inhale, just go at your own pace now. You don't have to follow with me, unless my breath makes sense for you. We all have different lungs, but sit deep, sit wide, engage your core. And the next time we reach back, that'll be our final one. We'll stand up, safe back bend. Don't overdo it. Lift up more than anything. Exhale, join the hands at the heart. Pause and notice the breath and the healthy vibration. That's prana. That's your life force, right? We get to wake it up through the yoga, through the practice. Again, let's flow. Inhale, arms down, around and up. Take a safe back bend if desired. Exhale, bow deep, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, stretch out your back, lengthen. Chaturanga flow, or simply find your down dog. That's cool too. Inhale to open up. Exhale to push back. All right, let's get a little wild. Are you guys ready? Narrow the feet a little bit. Feet a little closer together in your dog. Lift your right leg, bend your knee, open the hip up. Yeah, that's called a hip roll. And you can stay here. You can twist on the left foot, flip over, right foot lands behind you, twist the right arm overhead. Let's take 3 breaths here. Engage your core. And notice, think back to a moment ago, how did that right foot land? Did it bang to the earth or was it light? Yeah, and so when we do the other side in a little bit, we're gonna make it lighter. Come back to center. Let's go directly to the left side. Big drag out our left knee, open the pelvis, stay here, this is cool. Now this time as the left foot lands, land soft. Don't bang your joints ever. Left arm reaches, take a couple breaths. And we'll back to the side one. Left hand down, left leg back, right leg up. Feel free to hip roll. Or again, practice wild thing with a soft right foot landing. So gentle. Right arm reaches. Woo. Yeah, 3 in a row. And then we'll come to center. Step through for your crescent lunge pose. This time put the bottom knee down first and raise your arms up. Low lunge. Anjaneyasana. Now back knee can come to the earth. Yeah, reach through the ribs. Yeah, press the skull up towards the sky and let the hips get a little deeper. Now twist to the right, take the right arm behind you, twist the left arm forward. Soften the gaze towards the right hand. Stay here or exalted. Right hand down on the back left leg, left arm reaches up and back. Breathe. Open your belly. Open your hips. Standing splits. You're going to take your hands to the yoga blocks or the ground. Left leg lifts, rising. Doesn't have to go very high. Okay, work more effort towards square hips right now. We'll do some hip opening in a second. But at the moment right now, just work square hips and as high as you can get it without letting that left hip roll higher than the right. If you want a little more challenge, put your right hand on your right ankle. Head towards the foot. If you want even more, put the left hand on the ankle, balancing. Breathing. One more breath. Crescent lunge. Place the hands, frame the foot, step way back. Inhale, raise your arms up. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, straighten your front leg. Gonna mix it up this round. Triangle pose, hinging forward at the hip, or forward with the ribs. The left hip pushes back. Right hand can go on a yoga block, or the ankle, or the floor. Left arm to sky. Twist the heart open and visualize a full breath through the ribs. Last breath here. And put your left hand on your left hip. Inhale, stand back up. Put your right hand on your right hip. Twist your feet, turn them parallel to the long edge of your mat. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, forward fold. Standing forward, or wide-legged forward bend. Hands can touch the earth. If you'd like to grab your feet, you could do that. Hang out here if you want a little more dynamic practice. You can bend one knee at a time. Work a widening of that pelvic floor to one side, the side that you're bending to. and then the other side. So almost like you're super slow motion swooshing a skirt on your hips, really opening to the right, and opening to the left. Cool. So simple. Bend the right knee a little bit more. Walk over to the front foot, spin it forward. We're going to flow. Step back to chaturanga from here, or simply push yourself straight back into your downward facing dog. Left leg up, wild thing again. Watch how that left foot lands. Otherwise, you can do a hip roll if you don't want to flip all the way over. Left foot lands so soft. Left arm overhead, take a full breath. Yeah, nice, Melissa. Back to center. Place the left hand lightly. Watch how that goes down. And bring the left foot through. We're going to do a low lunge, you guys. So right knee down. Inhale, arms to sky. Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Feel the movement of the breath, and again, notice nervous system response. Is the jaw clenched? Are my eyes flickering? Find depth, find trust. Twist the left arm behind you and the right arm in front of you. Simple twist here, or reach back, left hand for the right leg, right arm up and back. Opening your belly, opening your hips. Breathing the whole way through. So inhale back to center. Standing splits, touch the ground or use yoga blocks if you have them. If the ground's a little too far, hover the right leg. Again, please prioritize square hips. Let's also think about this. On this side, think about what your right foot is doing in the air. Okay, another technique for really solid inversions that don't feel too scary is you want that foot, the right one, to be active. So tone it as if you were standing on it. Might help spread your toes, do what you need. Just feel an activation back there in the leg or in the foot. One more breath. Go a little deeper on if you did single-handed or no hands. And we'll go to crescent. So place the hands to support, bend the front knee, take a large step back, larger than you think. Inhale, arms up high. Exhale, open to the right side, warrior two. Keep the arms toned, straighten your front leg, and hinge the hips forward and down, Trikonasana posture. Left hand could go on a support, such as a block, right arm to the sky. A little twist of the chest open, soften your eyes. Put your right hand on your right hip. Inhale, stand back up. Left hand on your left hip. Adjust the left foot parallel, but now turn your heels in. So goddess pose, squat, turn the toes to the diagonals. Let's just put our hands on our knees and lean forward for a moment. Just kind of chill out a little bit, little recovery pose. Now again, try to open the space to the pelvis, like we've been doing today. When the pelvis is open, you guys, energy channels so much more easily. Especially right now, you do some twisting. You guys dip one shoulder and then the other. Especially when we're in a state of fear or stress. The nervous system response, not even just for us humans, but even animals, what do? They tuck under. So it's a balanced practice. You got to keep the ribs really full. You can't let the heart fall. Or let the pelvic floor open, even when we're in our inversions today. Or however far you get in them today. Even if you do the simplest version, can the pelvis still stay open? It's big. But we're going to touch down to the ground. I ask you to turn your feet parallel again once you get a little support, so adjust the feet, yeah. And then bend your knees rather deeply. And as the knees bend, keep the ribs high. So the arms do not bend. Elbows don't bend. Go low and then go high. And notice the lower you go, probably your tailbone may want to tuck. So try it out as the hips get down, like an elevator. It doesn't change shape, whether it's on floor 100 or floor 1 or in the lobby. It has the same infrastructure, so can your pelvis, unless you allow it to just tuck and kind of go into a default faultless pattern. Okay, next step, please glide your hands forward. A couple options here. You could do a really wide-legged down dog. walk the hands a bit farther out, okay? This would be more of a passive inversion. I want you to just hang out here if this is where your practice is right now, that's good. Otherwise, to get upside down a little bit, move the hands about halfway back towards you from where a down dog would have been, more or less. Grip the floor, get your fingers super gripped, hover your heels, bend your knees, and take a little hop. You don't have to go all the way up. The feet can just come up a half inch. What matters more is how you land, less about how high you go. Yeah, and again, try to land soft. How do you do that? Keep the ribs full, nice Paula. Keep the pelvic floor wide. And as you hop, the feet don't go to sleep once they're in the air. The legs don't lose their tone. They stay toned and strong, even when you're upside down. Whew, nice. All right, crawling over to your left foot. Take a flow, take a down dog. We'll all eventually end up on our knees to catch our breath. So you do you, a little chaturanga if you want to follow it up. Otherwise, let's take a seat on the heels, use a block if you need. We're not here for too long, but make yourself comfortable no matter what. Let's just come back into some deep, intentional breathing, okay? So bring your attention to your low back, or actually all the way down to your sacrum, right? All the way down there, that beautiful shaped, curved, fused bone that holds your base, your root. So from there, that's where the inhale visualization is going to start. So you can picture a white light from the tail starting to go up your spine. Okay, keep inhaling. Now it gets to your low back. Visualize it curving in naturally. It's not straight. Your spine's not straight. Then as it gets to your heart, it goes back, or it gets to the bottom of your ribs, really, is when it starts to curve back, your primary curve, thoracic. And then in the neck, it starts to curve in again. And then all the way up to the top of your skull. So that's the inhale, right? You might be breathing faster than I'm chatting, but you'll get the hang of it. And then the exhale, it goes forward down the front body. And you visualize those curves. Forward of the face, the calm eyes. In at the throat, strong voice. Open at the heart, forward. Long at the belly, curved and open. Then the inhale again, you start tailbone. The white light moves into the low lumbar, healthy curve. Back from the ribs, up, gliding through the heart, to the back heart. And neck up to the skull, your exhale down the front curves. About 3 more breaths like that. Visualize the circular energy that balances that, the yin and the yang, the front and the back bodies. One more. Let's make our way to all fours. Please find your way to your hands and your knees. Downward dog, curl your toes, lift your hips up. Take a full breath. And then you're going to walk forward towards your hands. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, easy forward bow. Inhale, stand strong all the way up to verticality. Exhale, hands to the heart center. One breath here, you can visualize that curvy white light. Exhale, root you back into the earth. Inhale, arms to the sky, full stretch, baby back bend if it's safe. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, take your flow or simply meet us all together in downward facing dog. Upward. Down. Again, bring the feet a little closer. Lift your right leg up, bend your knee, open your hip. Stay in open leg or touch the ground. Touch it lightly, right foot to earth, right arm overhead, wild thing. Can you tell I like this pose? Back to center, step all the way through. High lunge, right foot between the hands. Inhale, raise your arms above head. Big exhale, warrior 2. Reverse warriors. Going back to what we started with today, big stretch. Half moon from here, so you can launch into it. Right hand out from the right foot, diagonally, left leg to the sky. Your hips are open. So that's how it differs from your standing splits. Now the hips are not perfectly stacked. Left arm can go to the sky, by the way. The hips have a bit of an angularity to it. If you try to stack your hips all the way, you're going to compress your sacrum. There is an angle to it, just like in the warrior poses, but it's open. Think more open pelvis. Stay here or bend your knee out to the side, much like a doggy at a fire hydrant. Left knee out to the left. I'll reorient myself in my space to help you see. Touch the ground with both hands. Lift your right heel, bend your right knee, hop and switch. Hop and switch. So these are little handstand kicks, and you go right to left, and the knees stay bent. So it'll feel a bit more like a playful cartwheel versus straight legs. Let the tail arc. Let the pelvic bowl stay open. And again, the hops don't have to be as high as I may have been showing. You just do a little hop, switch right, switch left. Yeah, fall off. Oh, good. Pauline. Deep squat. Turn the toes out, sit down low. The heels might lift if you need to. Please do that. Hands to the heart. Elbows inside your knees. Whew, let's catch our breath again. Big on the inhale. And even big on the exhale. Touch the ground, lift your legs, lift your hips, spin the feet parallel, half lift. Chaturanga, step or hop back. Feel free to skip this and simply find downward dog. One more side here, you guys. Super playful, keep it fun. It doesn't have to be perfect. Left leg high, bend the knee, open the hip. Flip over, light touch with the left foot. Lift the ribs, twist and open. High lunges next, land the left hand so softly to the earth. Left foot through, inhale, crescent. You got this, yeah, full breath. Then warrior two, spin out, open up your arms. Inhale, open left arm, reverse warrior. Exhale, half moon, launch your way into it. Little hop off the back leg, hand to the earth, right hips open, right arms to the sky. Yeah, feel free to stay here. This is cool, this is great. Work a nice long extended half moon. Otherwise, the right knee pushes forward. It's like you're doing a squat in the air with your right leg. Hands come to the front of the mat again. Get low, bend the bottom knee, get high with the hips, hop and switch. Hop and switch. And what may occur for you is a little air time in the middle. If it doesn't today, it's all good. Stick with me, I'll teach you how to do it. It's such a nice playful way to handstand because it's safe and dynamic. You can react like you would if you were playfully cartwheeling through your space. Yeah, good, deep squat. Whew. For our deep squat, let's have a seat, lay on our back, do some core work. Lightly transition way onto your spine. You can start with a knee hug, simple, little sway on the back. Nice, you guys. Let's keep the heart right up. So bicycles, take the hands by your head, extend the left leg, twist the left elbow to the right knee, and then switch. And breathe, and switch, and breathe, and switch. And I don't know about you guys, but core work is probably so important right now, because we all might be enjoying more food and more snacks than we usually do in our homes all day. So it's really letting it not be perfect, right? Maybe it's not as strong as it was a month or so ago, but it's all good. We're in this together. We can improve. Let's keep doing this for 10 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Legs up, head down, hands by your hips. Pop your butt up and down, up and down. Get the low gut. Low belly. Again, try not to land heavy on your sacrum. Right? The way we respond, even to the simplest of exercises, trains our body for how we move through everything we do. Right? It'll train your mind for how you climb, how you run, right? And when we're light, when we're sweet to our tailbone here as it comes to the earth, you're training your body for self-care, right? Let's go 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Place the feet to the ground. Let's pause and just take a big breath. We're going to do a little more though. Cool. Arms out into a T shape to support you. You can put your palms down, legs up, bend them 90 degrees, zip them up. Inhale, and as you exhale, take the knees over to the right side. Not all the way down, you're hovering. Inhale, come back to the center. On your own time, exhale to the opposite side twist. Yes. If you wanted to make these harder, keep going left to right. The legs would work more and more straight. If you want to add that challenge, go for it. I'm going to keep my knees bent today. Maybe next week I'll do straight legs. And you might have some space limitations too, so it's all good. Either way, we are getting success. Keep it up for 4. Try not to use your arms too much. Ask more of your core, but your arms are, of course, there to support your back. Let's go for 3. I'm just counting down time. You go at your own pace. 2. Try to finish on the left side so you're equal. And inhale, come back to center, relax. Take a breath. Okay. Make it now. Keep the feet on the ground. Just walk them further away from your hips and wider. Okay. Tuck your pelvic floor. Raise your arms above your head. Take a big inhale. Now hook your heels so your feet will lift, but not the heels. So your heels are on the ground. I want you to drag them towards your buns. So your back legs are strong. Inhale again. Exhale all the way up. Arms through the knees. Let's do about 10 of these full sit-ups. Using the momentum of the arms does simplify it. I'm going to stick with that. If you want to do more challenging crunch or sit-ups, please feel free to cross your arms, cross your chest, or any other arm variation that you like. And do it with your breath. Inhale as you lower, exhale as you crunch. Get a nice strong exhale. Strong lungs. That's it. Let's go for 4. Doing great. 3, 2. Last one. And then we'll stay up. Hold the knees, inhale, cow. Open the belly. Exhale for a simple cat pose. Inhale for your cow. And exhale for your cat. Turn yourself to the long edge of your space. Janu Shirshasana. Extend your right leg out, pull the left foot in. Janu Shirshasana. Open hips is important here. If you need to prop up on a blanket, whatever those things are called. Flex your right foot, hold the floor outside the right leg, frame the leg. Twist your body first as you inhale. Exhale as you fold. Left hand can reach across the leg, foot or the ankle. Just be cautious that your left hip will probably want to pop off the ground or lift. And so gluing that hip to the ground, keeping the pelvic floor wide, really gain a safer and deeper pose for yourself. So inhale up center. Exhale to switch. Extend the left leg softly out there. Pull the right foot in again. Notice how you land the body. Be so sweet to yourself. Open the hips. You can use your hands on top of the booty. Hold that floor on either side of the left leg. Turn. And use the resistance of the floor to really get into the twist as you fold. Right arm can cross. Now right hip stays glued to the ground. And this left hand really is helpful if you keep it on the floor there, pushing the floor away a little bit. Just a nice little pressure can help get a little more twist. Belly button towards left thigh. Last breath here. We'll inhale, come up, and let's do our full splits. A V is enough. Don't think you have to shove your legs super wide apart to get success here. But modest, especially if you tight. If you're tight, unfold or untuck the pelvic floor. Inhale, lengthen your back. Exhale, take it easy forward fold. Your toes pointing up as you go down. Activate the legs. So like when we rock climb and we heel hook, that action of your heels pushing down into the earth and a little bit dragging towards your buns really help to engage your muscles as you stretch them, giving a safer experience, preventing injury, and also accessing more power, more space, stretching deeper into the belly of the muscle when the muscle's active versus just pulling on the attachment points. Please use your inhale, friends. Start to rise back up. Hold underneath your knees, lean back, put the legs together. We'll lay on our back. Lay on your back. Lay comfortably on your space. Take a moment to do any final movements before I move us into the pranayama part of class. So if you want to do a little twist or whatever, please do what you need. And as you guys do your final stretches, I'll just give a little bit of background into what we're about to do. We don't have a ton of time, but it'll give you a little taste of some cool breathing, really powerful breathing. And things to expect when you're doing this with me in just a moment is you will most likely get lightheaded and tingly, okay? And this isn't a place to run away from. The discomfort is where we start to really reveal some cool stuff to ourselves. But that being said, if you start to feel overwhelmed by this practice, please stop following my guidance and just go back to a normal breath and potentially rejoin us when you feel ready to do so, okay? So step one, lay on your back. Lay down, lay safely on the floor. Due to the lightheadedness of what we're about to do, it's really important. You're laying down, you're safe, you're not gonna fall. Okay, so you wouldn't do this breath in a seated meditation or standing. So first, just take some big breaths and think of these three main areas of your body that are spherical in nature. Your ribs, the heart area, where the breath actually goes. Okay, you also have the hips down low, and then you have your head. Right? And so we're going to focus on these three spheres, these three areas during this breath work as becoming more vibrant, more expansive, more open, right? Not flat. Okay, and I'm going to demonstrate the breath very briefly, and then we'll start to get to it. So here's the breath. It's a power breath. You're going to take a big inhale and let it out really fast. And another big inhale and let it out fast. Okay, so go ahead and start when you're ready. I'm going to invite you, since some of us might be new to this, just to go at a speed that works for you, right? If that's a little too fast, slow it down a bit, work more for depth. Okay, every inhale, big on the ribs, big into your belly, up into the skull, and then fast. So what you're actually doing physiologically is you're hyper-oxygenating your body. This is from the Wim Hof methodology, okay? I'm not a Wim Hof teacher, I don't claim to be. These are techniques we use, that we use in some of the other things I do. So again, just keep it going, keep pumping it, big breath in. Yeah, big breath, make the lungs stronger. All these intercostal muscles that move the ribs and give you space, they can get stronger, they can get more expansive, and let the diaphragm move down towards your belly, distal, opening. Right? It's kind of octopus-like, it opens and expands, but you gotta use the space up, right, or we lose it, right? It's just like our physical body, right? If we lose our physical practice, sometimes we lose the ability to do postures we used to do, right? So we keep it up. Take a couple more big breaths here, almost done. And then let it go, okay, let it go. And turtle breathing is the next practice. So that means no effort. No effort in your breath, friends. Don't even try to breathe deep, right? You might even get to this place of having the sitting, I'm not even sure if I'm in the inhale or the exhale. It's so slow. And similar to what Nadi showed in us sometimes brings up for some of us, there might be this moment where you feel, oh, I'm grasping for my breath. You need to suddenly, right? And that's the nervous system doing what it normally does. And it's a training of a reminder to yourself with the pranayama that you're okay. You're okay. If it becomes too intense, please go back to a normal breath. That is always there for you. But I invite you to play with this challenge and not worry about doing it perfectly. Slow and liquid. Like the ocean at the peak of sunrise, right? There's a calmness to the water. The waves are very small and steady. And then finally, final thing I'll guide you through here before I leave you be in your Shavasana with some background music for you to enjoy is returning to that curvy breath I taught earlier. White light starting at the sacrum, naturally curving in at the low back, from the base ribs backward through your thoracic. Think of all the space you have. And then up the curvature of the neck, open the throat, around the skull, the exhales is down, the front curves of the body, down the long open belly. Visualize that circle, that cycle of health, that cycle of vibrancy, of inner development that doesn't have to have an immediate answer. We can live a little bit in the question and in the unknown. This time is yours. Please stay as long as you need. If you have another 10, 20 minutes, there's no need to jump up and turn off your device. The cameras will be off. The room will be closed in just a moment, so feel free to stay just as you are, as long as you need. Thank you so much for being here today. I appreciate your studentship, your willingness, your openness. I look forward to the next time. Namaste.